So I'm at Riverview grounds as usual. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm here a lot, but hey, when you're a working man, you don't have much time to travel. Wow, is that ever neat in there? Look at that. Wow. I'm going to do a little test. Not really a test. It's more, well, I guess it kind of is. I'm checking out a light meter. Now I have my really trusty Minolta F that I've had for 30 years. I bought it in 1992 when I lived in Japan. It was my second real light meter that I bought. The first one's Minolta 4, which is a great meter. I have it as backup. A friend of mine has one of these things. These little tiny little things. It's called a Reveni. Reveni. I think it's pronounced Reveni. I could be wrong. When I look at it, I want to say Reveni, but it's probably Reveni. Anyways, he wanted me to give this a shot just to see what I think of it. And I haven't used it in the field. I did look at it when I was sitting at the kitchen table. I poked around with it a little bit. It is a very strange light meter. It's cool though. It works on that like bionic man. Oh dear, here we go. Bionic man references all over again. Bioptic? No, what's the word? Biovision? Something like that. You have to look through it with whichever eye you want, but you have to keep the other eye open. And I guess what you see with the one eye sort of superimposes over top of what you see inside the meter, which is kind of weird at first. You sort of get used to it. But I didn't really play around with it. Just sort of got a little bit comfortable with how it feels. Anyways, the battery died right away. And I'm like, what? I broke his meter. He's going to kill me. Sorry, Steven. So I met him again. We met for coffee, and he gave me this little adapter that attaches to it, and it takes two AAA cells. So hopefully that'll give it a little bit more oomph. It doesn't run out. So it's got these really cool caps front and back. And you just pull them off like this, and I guess you just let it hang here because it won't come off. That's kind of neat. I'm going to take some photographs, and I'm going to take a photograph metering with my trusty old Minolta, and then I'm going to try this Reveni. This isn't a how-to video because quite frankly I really don't know very much about this light meter. I see there's 4 buttons here, and good golly, they're hard to make out. Okay, so this one has arrows on it, and I think that has an M on it for mode probably, and that one is the power button. So to turn it on, you have to press and hold. You look through here. Let's do that. Ooh, and it went on. Cool. Can you guys see? I wonder if you guys can see. Hold it right up. If you look through this meter I go look through it with my right eye and keep my left eye open, it's superimposing the LED screen onto what I see with my left eye. And if I don't use it right away, it shuts off. So I guess I would have to go inside and play around with the settings so it doesn't go to sleep right away. That's a bit of an annoyance. Okay, so it's back on. And in the middle, there's like a little donut thing. Donuts. Sorry. Donut fetish. And it says above the donut, it says locked. Ooh, I just bumped you, sorry. It says locked. Now if I hold this M or power button, it says reading. So I guess it's taking a reading. I don't know what's happening. I'm moving the light meter around, and on the lower left it says F something. Must be the F stops. Those are changing. Top left number is 160. That's probably my shutter speed. And there's probably mode, so it must be in shutter priority. So let's choose. Yeah, see, if I click these little arrow buttons, really this isn't a how-to, but it's kind of turning into that. We're doing this together. Yeah, if I do the left arrow, it's going to 80. Okay, it's on a 60th of a second at f2. So I'm gonna take a reading. I think what I'll do is I'll take a reading with this, and I'll take a reading with that. But actually, I probably should make sure if it's on the right ISO. It says ISO 250. What am I shooting today? HP5? What's the other film I brought? I think it's Pan F. I don't remember. Anyways, we'll just do the HP5. So it's the ISO is already set correctly, EI, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and it turned off again, so I gotta press and hold. Come on, okay, it's back on. ISO is 250. Oh, the top right corner is EV. I never use that. And we're on 60th of a second. I'm gonna press the mode button. Oh, it says compare. What does that do? Compare what? Oh, I see. So the EV has plus or minus numbers. Okay. So if I took a reading off of that tree, and if I put it in a bright area, this is plus 2.45, 2.5. Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, that could really help me. That's kind of like my Minolta. I can do that too. So I could take a reading of a shadow and then see how many stops difference in EVs, how many stops difference it is between the dark area that I want to retain detail and the lighter area where I want to retain detail, and see if I can fit that subluminance range, if I can fit that onto the film, if it's going to be normal development or if it's going to be extended or contracted. So I want to meter. Oh, turned off again, so I got to turn it back on. Another thing I noticed is you got to look through the fat end. Usually, we sort of look through the small end. So when I was first looking, I was looking through the wrong end. So I'll start it up again. Hold down the power button. Okay, it's back on. There's the donuts. Shut up, O'Neill. Okay, and what's the darkest area? I don't know if I want to take a picture here. It was actually kind of cool over there looking through. You know what? I think I'm going to go over and take a picture. What if I go here? Ooh, that's kind of neat. You see me? It's kind of neat when the sun comes out. It's quite a nice day today. The sun's out. It's cloudy, but the sun comes out and then it's gone and then it comes out. But I think I like this scene when the sun's out. So I'm going to have a little bit more contrast. Shooting HP5. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to meter first with Reveni and take a picture, and then I'll meter with my trusty Minolta Spot F. So let's turn this sucker on. There's the donut. And my dark area, well, right here, right really close to me, here. Can you guys see me? Mm-hmm. That's pretty dark. I mean, it's bright, but it's probably one of the darker areas. Now this donut in the middle, there's the two circles, looks like a donut. I believe the inner circle is, inside that is 1 degree, like my Minolta, and the outer is 5. So it's going to be interesting to see how this meters. So let's just I'll just take a reading of the tree. Oh, turned off. Okay, so I'll take a reading of the stump, and I get 60th at f2.2. Let's see what my Minolta tells me. And let's take a reading. I get f1.4. Now, I don't think it's exactly 1 degree. Really, I don't. This is 1 degree, and it's giving me a reading of f1.4. So we're like almost a stop different here. So anyways, I'll just go ahead. I'll pretend I don't have you. Sorry, bye. I'll see you later. And I'll work with this guy. So it says lock, so I hold that down and it gives me a reading. Make sure my left eye is open so I can see what I'm reading. Okay, f2.2. Now if I hold down this M button, which I believe is mode, it's going to tell me the differences in stop. So let's go over there where it's bright. 2 stops, 2 1/3 stops more. Bright area up at the tree, 1.7. So the spot on the ground, which is in the shot. Oh, there's some bright areas up there. Let's measure that. Yeah, 2.8. Same as the bright spot on the ground over there. Yeah, so I think I'll base my highlight reading off of that tree bit there. The 2 2/3. So if I place the trunk there on zone 4, that means that bright area up there on the tree. You guys see that? I don't even know if you guys can see that. This area? I almost gored myself with a tree branch. Can you guys see that? I think so. That's going to be 6 2/3. Zone 6 2/3. It's not quite normal. I would have to extend my development time to bring that up to like maybe a zone 7 or a zone 8. So that's probably what I would do. Where's my cable release? Ow! 15th of a second at f5.6. So I'm going to put that on zone 4, so that's 1 stop less. I'm going to leave the aperture at f5.6 and change my shutter speed by 1 stop to 30th of a second. Take out the dart slide. Now the ground is a little bit unstable here, so I got to be super careful. Okay, let's take it. Okay, and now I'm going to take a picture with my trusty light meter. So we'll go to 15th of a second. We'll take a reading of the tree. Yeah, this is definitely 1 degree. This is not. There's no way. The readings are so out. Like a stop difference. So I'm going to 1/4 of a second at 5.6 and a half. 5.6 and a half. And I'm going to put that on zone 4. So let's go to 8th. And I'm going to go to 15th and then open up to about there, to about f4.5. And let's take the picture. All right. Let's go look for something else. You know my favorite tree is just over there, right? Should I go and check it out? It's got tons of leaves on it. I haven't seen it like that for ages, so let's go check out my tree. Where's my tree? Let's go under the canopy. Ooh. Let's get a shot. So I'll do the same here. I'll get a shot using the Reveni. I have to stop and think about it. Reveni meter, and then I'll meter with my trusty Minolta spot. 1 degree, a real 1 degree. I guess I shouldn't be so hard on this light meter. I mean, it makes me feel like Steve Austin, the Bionic Man. Sorry, couldn't resist. Okay, let's get the camera set up. I left the strap on from when I was doing that push test, remember? Had this thing around my neck. My neck is still sore. We've got the 50mm lens on. It's a wide angle lens. The widest that I have. Focus right on the tree. Now let's meter with the ravioli. I have a
Reveni
light meter. It's off, of course. I'm gonna have to figure out the settings and change that. All right, so ooh, nice breeze. It's a pretty bright area here. It's about, I can visualize this as like a middle gray area. This is quite dark here. So I might take my reading off of that. And it is quite dark along here too. Okay, now the challenge here is it's backlit. Those areas I want to read. So let's see how the
Reveni
does in that type of situation. Turn on. Now I'm a little bit far away. I could probably just stand here, right? I'll take a reading of that big branch over there. Gotta keep my left eye open. But now, see, now the donut is the same size as that branch, so it looks like it's a 5-degree reading, and it kind of touches the green leaves a bit. So take a reading. I got 15th at f9. One thing I read about was parallax with your eyes, because your eye, this thing isn't pointed at what your eye's looking at, if that makes any sense. So I think it's negligible beyond a certain distance, but for close-up stuff, just like when I'm using my Mamiya C330, right, I got to compensate for that. But I was just thinking the earlier shot that I took where I was like, what, a meter and a bit away from that stump, that maybe that's why I was getting really, really different readings. So I might just go back there and try that one again. Okay, sun has kind of gone behind clouds, and the light meter turned off again. So I'll turn it back on. I'll take a reading. 15th of the second at f9. And now I'll check the bright areas in the background. It's a 3-stop difference. So if I put that on 3, zone 3, that big branch, that becomes zone 6. I could put that branch on zone 4, but I don't want to. I don't want it to be that light. Let's check the stump for the hell of it. Or the trunk, trunk I should say. And okay, it's saying it's half a stop darker now. Is that because of me? Because of parallax? Yep, it is. So if I move it to the right just a little bit, I get 2 stops difference. So that's bang on zone 5. So years of experience pays off. The only way you can get good at something is if you practice. So I know if I take my reading off of that trunk, I know I'll be okay. 5 stops, right? A couple of stops more for over in the bright area, a couple of stops less for the darker. I've got a normal negative pretty much. So that's interesting. You got to remember the parallax. Okay, even at this distance here, I'm about 3 meters away. Jeez. Well, I'm going to try that again. So that's what I read before, and I get F10. Now if I shift it over to the right just a little bit, I get F18. Interesting. I just shifted over just a little bit. got the branch. Okay. I'm still going to base my exposure on that branch. So let's take a reading. So that must be parallax happening. So if I shift over a little bit, that's scary because I really don't know what. If I go to left into the bright area, it's F9. If I go over to that area that's a little bit bright, it's also F9. And then I just find that spot. Wow, it's still F13. F9 is the tree. So 15th at F9. And I'll put that on zone 3. So 15th to the 2nd at F11 and a half. And that's with the
Reveni.
Okay, let's use the trusty Minolta. And I can take a reading from right here, and my spot is well within. I get 5.6 and a half, a quarter of a second of 5.6 and a half. And that was a 15th. So again, my readings are off a little bit. So there's no way that this is accurate. It's also, I think we're also dealing a little bit with parallax. Quarter of a second at f 5.6 and a half. So quarter of a second at f 11 and a half. Yeah, I'm taking a shot from way down here. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, focus right on the tree. And I think I'll just use the same settings. What was it?
Reveni.
I'm saying it without even thinking. Okay, take a reading of that branch. So F11 out of 15th. 5, that's zone 5, so 2 stops less. So 32nd at F16. And now I'll take a reading with my trusty Minolta spot. Quarter of a second at F11. 5, 2 stops less. 8th of a second at F16. Well, these will be a little bit blurry from movement, but that's okay. You know, there's one really, really cool tree over there I like to shoot, and I love it when the leaves are out, so I'm going to head over there. We're going to my other tree, my second favorite tree. In case you're wondering what my favorite tree is called. The double horse chestnut. I've done a few videos of this tree. Just go to my channel and have a look. Okay, here's my tree. Well, my second tree. This is a beauty. Eh? Look at this. And this really, really shines when the sun is out and it's in the south sky shining this way. It's just gorgeous. No, there's no sun right now, but I'm still going to take a picture. So I just love being inside this canopy. So I'm going to take a picture here. Ooh, look at all the flowers. I'll just do the same way I've been doing it. Shot with
Reveni.
and one with my trusty Minolta 1 degree spot meter. They've yet to believe that this
Reveni
is 1 degree. I think it's more like 5. The battery's holding out. There's a boss. I wonder if that's Steven. Oh, it's not, because he doesn't do this route anymore. Steven's the guy that lent me the Reveni. Oh my god, I've been saying it wrong all this time. Reveni light meter, it's his. So thank you, Steven, for that. I just hope you don't defriend me if I don't like your meter. Unfriend me, is that the word? Oh, it always looks so cool, this tree. This lighting is nice. It's nice and I would say very, very normal. I love where I have this set up right now. So I'm going to take a picture of this. I wish I could show you guys this. Let's see. Can you guys see through my camera? Let's have a look. Where's the lens? Yeah. So, the Reveni. Reveni is up first. Let's turn on the Reveni. Channeling my Steve Austin. There's my donut. Okay. It's kind of lots of light everywhere. Nothing really dark and scary. Maybe this part here is the darkest bit. That's pretty light. Maybe zone 6 background will be the brightest, most likely. So let's take a reading of that part of the branch. Keep my Steve Austin eye open and take a reading. 15th at F7. Let's see how bright the background is. It's 3 stops brighter. So if you put that on 4, that's 7. It's going to be normal. Now that lighter part of the trunk is almost zone 6. So 15th of a second at F7. What the heck is that? I'll just do 5.6.5. So that is zone 5, and I'm going to give just 1 stop less. So F8.5, and I'm going to go to an 8th. I want to have depth of field here. Quarter at F16.5. Hey guys, welcome back to my darkroom. I have my negatives processed and we're ready to take a look at them. And I'm not surprised with the results. So we'll look at them quickly. I realize this video has gone on quite a long ways, but if we look at the first 2 that I shot. The first one here was with the Reveni, and that was with the Minolta, and I'm not surprised that the Reveni reading is a lot lighter. The negative's a lot thinner than the Minolta reading. It's got a lot more density, right? So, I mean, I'm not surprised because the Minolta's a meter that I've been using for a long time, and I've matched the meter with this film. And the next 2, again, the Reveni negative is a lot thinner than the Minolta, right? And this for the reading with this one was a lot smaller spot I believe it was on this branch right here. And it's pretty empty. There's just no detail in there at all. So that'll print black, whereas the Minolta has some detail. And these are the next two here that I shot from a lower angle. And it's quite thin. And again, I took the reading off of this branch. And lots of density in the HP5 Minolta spot meter reading. We went over to that other tree that I really like, and it's a little bit better, probably because the area that I was reading was a little bit broader. And then as you saw, I lost audio. I really don't know what happened, but this is the last one that I shot. And again, they're pretty close, but the Reveni reading is thinner.